2 more weeks until they strip Jon Jones. Dana White officially confirmed in 2 weeks they would either strip Jon Jones or announce his fight against Aspinall. All about it in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
We finally get at least a little bit of clarity in the whole Jon Jones Aspinall heavyweight division drama that is playing out since November, since Jones beat Stipe, right? And just a little sum up again. I mean, Dana said 7 million times this fight will happen 100%. And normally when Dana says something is 100%, you can be rather sure that it will happen. Of course, Dana has promised people title shots or something and not given it to them. But whenever he said 100% this fight is gonna happen, a specific fight, normally he does not say that without any reasoning behind it, right? Especially not with such a big fight where he knows that if he's wrong with that, that could have a huge backlash. So I would really love to see a documentary series with like Hunter and stuff, what's going on behind the scenes in the last couple of months. Because the thing is, if you believe Jon Jones, he told the UFC quite some time ago that he will not ever fight again, that he's retired, and he kind of gives the belt away, then the heavyweight division can play out however they want, right? Which is just weird because, okay, if he would say that, I could see why the UFC would maybe take 1 or 2, 3 weeks to try to get him back, give him some more money and be like, hey, come on, Jon, come back. Just like they did with Khabib, right? They tried to offer him more money and more money and more money. But with him being the active champion and him making this decision and Aspinall being the interim champ that last fought over a year ago defending his interim belt, right? He's the interim champ since nearly 2 years now, which is just insane. They would need to move on. They would at least at some stage be like, okay, Jon really doesn't want to fight anymore. Let's move on. We don't want to make the fans angry. We don't want Tom Aspinall angry, right? We want to use Tom Aspinall. He draws pay-per-views as well. Tom Aspinall is a star. Let's use him.
I have tax to pay and I have a live to live.
So I don't really get... I can't wrap my head around what's really going on backstage, because if Jon Jones said that, then why is Aspinall still trying to get Jon Jones? Tom Aspinall, like however many 2 months ago or something, said that he has everything is set, the opponent, location, everything is set, he just can't announce it yet. And 2 months later, it seems like he doesn't know, the UFC doesn't know. It's always like a back and forth. Once they know, then they don't know, then they know, then they don't know. Like, it's so weird. I would really love to know what's really going on backstage, because we can only speculate, right? With that being said, that Dana said 2 weeks, that means, okay, they probably put Jon Jones on a deadline and were like, hey, you have 1 or 2 more weeks to come to still decide our newest offer or whatever, and if you don't accept, we will move on, right? If you listen to your gut, I do kind of feel like that Jon Jones, it's hard to say, because in one way I feel like Jon Jones is not gonna step away like that, with everyone calling him a duck and stuff like that, that it bothers him. On the other hand, I'm like, he did everything he needed to, but if that's the case, it would have been announced much earlier. It just confuses me, but right now my guess is that Jon Jones is retired and the UFC in 1 or 2 weeks will announce Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. Why Cyril Gane? Because Volkov is more deserving in my opinion, even though Cyril Gane beat Volkov in a decision that we mostly don't agree on, right? I do think Volkov won the fight, but it's good for the UFC that Cyril Gane won the fight, because Cyril Gane against Aspinall, I think I said that in one of my first YouTube videos, that it's a dream fight for me. And of course we saw Cyril Gane's grappling being a little bit exposed since then, right? That was before he fought Ngannou and Jon Jones. But he definitely improved in his grappling, even though he focused more on his acting career recently. That's still a fight that I would love to see, because the problem is Volkov against Aspinall, we already saw that and we saw how it ended. Of course, every fight is a new fight and Volkov improved, but still, there is more interest for me in Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall than I have in Volkov against Aspinall. And certainly I have zero interest in Jailton Almeida and the UFC neither, because Jailton Almeida is not a guy that the UFC wants as a champion, because all Almeida does is just shoot for their life and nothing else. Like, Jailton Almeida is not an exciting guy to watch, right? So the UFC probably will not just give him an easy title shot. They probably put him against Volkov or something. But I do believe that Cyril Gane against Paris is a fight night. I don't know for which event, but for some events in autumn or in fall somewhere, maybe October, this Abu Dhabi, I don't know, somewhere around then. I don't know where it will fit in, but they will fit that fight in somewhere there, and Tom Aspinall will fight Cyril Gane for the undisputed UFC heavyweight championship of the world. And of course, option B is Jon Jones comes back and fights Tom Aspinall at Madison Square Garden for the undisputed belt. This is my thought about this whole thing with the 2 weeks. What are your opinions? Write them in the comments. Like this video, guys. Subscribe to this channel. Would appreciate it. Check out my Twitch, the live streams as well, the watch-alongs. Check it out, you guys. Stay bloody, and until the next one. Bye-bye. Bloodsport out.